Republican Texas Senate candidate and Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Good to have you on the program, sir. Really appreciate it. AG Paxton, what do you make of this forecast here? Will Texas flip blue, and is there any weight to it?
Look, I think we're very similar to 6 years ago when Ted Cruz pulled it out, but it was close. Midterms tend to be not as good for the party in power. And at this point, because I had a 3-month runoff, I've had to raise money 3 months later. So we're a little behind on the TV. He's gotten on TV and been able to talk about being a moderate Democrat, which is not accurate. He's a socialist Democrat. He just can't win that way. So I think once we expose him for who he really is, the radical leftist views that he has, I think there's no way that Texas is going to elect him.
So, Attorney General, your opponent, James Talarico, making headlines as of late, accused of voting in 5 elections using his parents' address after buying his own home nearby. Here's what he had to say.
This is Ken Paxton's playbook. It is not rooted in fact.
So are you saying that you did not use your parents' address in those 5 elections?
I'm saying I followed all of our election laws in Texas and did not commit voter fraud.
Now, I'm assuming you're aware of this. Are you looking into these claims?
Well, look, this is up to other people to investigate, but it is questionable that he registered with his parents and then he ran actually in a different district. You're supposed to live in a district at least 12 months before you run. And he clearly moved into his parents' house after that 12-month period and filed in a different district. And then also, as has been suggested, voted there when he was likely living somewhere else.
With all due respect, AG Paxton, I mean, when are you going to expose James Talarico, though, in terms of his many claims? Because we have around 80 days until Election Day, and at the time, clock's ticking. Many are worried that this might be resulting in the Senate going to the Democrats.
It's a great question. You'll remember I had a runoff that lasted till May 26th. On the 27th, I had $0 left to spend. So my opponent had 3 months. He didn't have a runoff, so he raised about $30 million from mostly California. If you go look at it, most of his money comes from out of state. And so we've been trying to build it up during the summer, which is challenging. But we're going to get there, and I think you're going to see things start popping potentially next week for us, and then they will build up as we get closer to the election. So it's just a matter of time, and once we have the resources, what you're talking about is going to happen. We are going to expose more of his record, and there's a lot to expose because every single thing that he was for during the primary and during the last 8 years as a state rep, now suddenly he's switching his positions, but he's on record with votes and with his words, and we're going to hold him accountable.
So I want to pivot here to voter ID, a very popular topic, ubiquitous topic. I mean, you've been fighting very hard for election integrity in your state, Texas. I mean, tell us more about those efforts.
Look, it's in my opinion, Texas has done a great job protecting our elections with photo ID. We don't let non-citizens vote. We could do some reform on mail-in ballots to make it a little more tight because that's the greatest risk of cheating in an election is mail-in ballots. But I think this national issue is bigger. The Save America Act needs to be passed because that would protect elections across the country. We know that half the states, Democratic states, don't typically require photo ID. They don't have anything to check whether citizens or non-citizens are voting, and that there's no mail-in ballot protection. They mail them out to everybody. We have no idea who's sending them back. If we don't fix that, we're not going to be able to save this country because all the Democrats need to do is take a few more states. And if they get control of the election system, there's not going to be a chance to have fair elections.
No, it's an 80-20, almost a 90-10 issue in this country. So Texas Senate candidate and Attorney General Ken Paxton, thank you so much for your time, sir. Great to have you.
Thank you. Great. Have a great day.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.